Smackdown Hot Takes, where I take your thoughts, your opinions, your hot takes, if you will, from the previous episode of Smackdown Raw PLEs and Saturday night's main event. All right, let's get going. We got Ducky Devon. The way Jacob was looking at Solo while he was walking out definitely meant something. Not sure what, but could this be the end of Solo's bloodline? I do think this is the end of Solo's bloodline, but the question is now, does Solo go solo, or does he acknowledge Roman and fall in line and we have the actual original complete OG bloodline back together? I don't know if I see that necessarily. I do see Solo acknowledging Roman, though. I think Solo acknowledges Roman, and poof, we have Solo just being a man on his own for a while here. And slowly but surely, we get that kind of kooky Solo that we know and love that he's been since Bad Blood. But yeah, Jacob wasn't happy. The real question is, do we get Bloodline 3.0 with Jacob leading? I don't know. A lot of people were talking about that amazing promo. Pack Rim Electric, Solo will be outshined by Jacob. Yeah, I do think that. In fact, the moment Jacob showed up, he did outshine him. For the first couple months, Jacob completely eclipsed Solo when it came to just presence and aura. However, I will say this, I do believe Solo did recover really well, and for a while, they were 1-1, which is okay, because for a while, Jey Uso and Roman Reigns were 1-1. But now that they're both kind of on their own, instantly, Jacob will outshine Solo. But I think Solo has a long future, and they're going to have to slow cook him and build him back up at this point. And I think Solo's going to have a different type of career than Jacob, and that's perfectly okay. Is Jey Uso outshining Roman Reigns right now, or are they just two stars that are different from each other? And that's where I think Solo and Jacob will be. Jay and Love, do we get a Solo face turn? I'm thinking so. I saw it somewhere on the internet. I can't remember who it was, so I apologize. But they said that Solo is just doing what Roman did. When Roman lost at WrestleMania 40, the guy just straight up and left. He just straight up and left. He didn't say a word to anybody. Poof, gone. Not even the wise man knew. So here we got Solo Sikoa, who was kind of mimicked Roman Reigns and how he was a leader to the bloodline. Although Solo was always good to his people. He very much cared about his bloodline, more so than I felt Roman did. But when Roman lost, he left. And what happened with Solo? Solo lost, and he left. So what happened when Roman came back? He was a face. So if Solo comes back, well, he could be a face. Ducky Devon again. Jacob's promo was really good tonight. One of the best to date. Yeah, Jacob. Oh man, we're in for it. Jacob Fatu, he is so good on the microphone. Even when he doesn't say anything like super spectacular, it's still fire because of the energy and delivery. Straight up, anything Jacob says is 10 times better than if anybody else said it. So, yeah, Jacob is going to be like, he's fire. He's definitely fire. And however, what happened at the end with Braun Strowman and LA Knight, completely pointless. It didn't further any storylines and just took away from Jacob's promo. They should have just let Jacob have his moment. I definitely agree that they should have let Jacob have his moment. I guess it did further the storyline between him and Braun Strowman, because they're going to have a match now at Saturday night's main event. So it did further that story, but I felt there could have been other ways to do it. I wish they treated Braun Strowman how they were treating Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed was just this chaotic element that could strike at any moment, backstage, in the ring, anywhere. But with Braun Strowman, his music hits, he comes out, and it's just like, we don't need that. They should have let Jacob have his moment. It's 3 hours. We could have had another moment backstage where out of nowhere, Braun Strowman attacks, and then we have a pull apart, and then we could have got our match for Saturday night's main event. But I agree, that segment should have been in its own little vacuum, and Jacob should have just walked out of there looking just like crazy and unhinged. Here we go, Damian King. Fatu, Jacob, will be the future in the next 3 years, future champion in the next 3 years. I know it. I can see it. I can see it. While I did love Solo Sikoa, I don't think the fans, everybody really bought him as champion right now. But the moment Jacob entered the picture, we were all like, the dude's a champion! Put all the belts on him! And while Jacob can be a champion in the next 3 years, who can be a champion in the next 3 months? That's you. That's right, you can be a champion very, very soon, because at 10,000 subscribers, I'm going to give this belt away, and I'm almost there. We are creeping towards 8,000, so that means sooner than later, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and give this belt away to one of you people out there who have commented on videos and subscribed and hit the bell notification. And separately, if you hit likes on the videos, that helps the channel gain more following, because the engagement really helps get us out there into YouTube land, thus getting subscribers and giving away this belt even quicker. Every 10,000 subscribers on my path to 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to give away a belt. So this channel has promised to give 10 belts away. That's right, 10 belts away. Why am I doing it? I'm crazy. I'm insane. I love wrestling. I love you beautiful people, but I also don't love my day job, and I'm trying to get out of the day job so I can do wrestling content all day long. I have 35 years of wrestling knowledge at my disposal. Weird flex, okay, yep. But I think I found my tribe, and my tribe is you guys, so that's kind of like a cool flex to you guys. To the rest of the world, it's weird, but who cares what the rest of the world thinks? We have our own little community here where we can just love on wrestling, and I want to do it full time, so help me out, become a full-time content creator, and I will give away 10 of these. Well, maybe not 10 exactly of these, but 10 actual replica belts, not toys. Thank you very much. Comment, subscribe, hit the bell. Jay and Love, Roman as champ gets 30-minute segments plus the main event. Cody gets 10-minute TV time as champion. 10 minutes TV time if we're lucky. Yeah, that's where I think SmackDown is really lacking right now. In that, when we had the Bloodline, it was like 30, 40 minutes of just Roman Reigns and his Bloodline dominating. Even when Roman wasn't there, the Bloodline still dominated everything. And whether you like that or not, it definitely gave SmackDown an identity, and it allowed to fill up the time. Now that we have 3 hours, we need something like that, because the show, while it's okay, it's not as good as it could be, I feel. And we're still got growing pains, I do admit that, but your champion only getting 10 minutes of TV time, I think we need a little more. It's hard though, because, and I'm not trying to be a Cody hater, but you know, he's such a cookie cutter Boy Scout that it is hard to give him that amount of time. But we got to figure something out. Because yeah, 10 minutes of your champion is not enough time on a 3-hour show. I mean, Stone Cold Steve Austin back in the day, he was able to do it as a face. He was all over the show. John Clockwork, I predict that Jade Cargill will show up at NXT to cost Bianca and Naomi the tag belts. So it was announced on SmackDown tonight that Bianca and Naomi are going to go to NXT on Tuesday and defend their belts against Lash Legend and Shakira Jackson. That's going to be a good match. That is going to be a banger. Shakira Jackson and Lash Legend, they showed up on the main roster last year for the tag belts, and they were really, really good. I wouldn't mind if they just straight up won, and that furthered Naomi's crash out eventually, because Naomi was totally the one who did it. But Jade Cargill showing up, I don't see it happening. I think they just wait till the Rumble, because if you think about it, the Rumble is where she debuted, so let's have her re-debut at the Rumble. But if you really want to pop a ratings or show that NXT anything can happen, that's actually a really good idea, John Clockwork. I just think that the Royal Rumble being so close, they're just going to wait. But I wouldn't mind your idea whatsoever. And if it got the belts on Lash Legend and Shakira Jackson, I would be all for it. Come at me now. Solo and Roman form a tag team called Sopolo. Why not? Sopolo. Tiz Mickey. Honestly, I kind of feel like they just have Mello in a holding pattern until Trick comes up from the main roster. Yeah, Trick Williams and Carmelo, they have a history. They were friends, and then they turned on each other. Well, you know, Carmelo turned on Trick, and I could see it. If you look at my prediction videos, I actually say that Trick Williams is going to come up in the Rumble and then quickly win the U.S. title, letting those two go into a feud at WrestleMania. Whether or not that happens, I I could definitely see them doing that. It feels like those two are kind of attached to the hip. My only worry with that is man, I feel like Carmelo needs some wins going into his feud with Trick. I don't know. I just don't. For the number one draft pick of SmackDown, why is Carmelo treated like the way that he's been? I don't fully grasp it. I wish he had more wins. Like, if we have to call some more people up that can be jobbers, that's fine, but we shouldn't have called up Carmelo to be the jobber. Also, she says, and why is anyone listening to Santos? I mean, he's a great wrestler, but a terrible leader. He and I have the same amount of championships on the WWE main roster. All right, so I think Tiz Mickey should be leading El Gato Del Fantasma, because Santos, you know what? He's had his time, and if Tiz Mickey and him have the same amount of championships, let's give Tiz Mickey a try. I think that's the takeaway from here. You know what? I am starting to low-key kind of start to like El Gato Del Fantasma, but it would be nice if they did something a little more with Santos. Honestly, I would like them to just go down to NXT for like 3 months and feud with the D'Angelo family and come back. They're not doing much. Maybe a little bit in the tag division now that that's getting some love, but I feel you could probably still have them on Tuesday nights for a little bit. Wyatts 6661. Wyatts don't matter. I can tell by your name that you are not happy and that this is not the Wyatts don't matter. This is oh man, the Wyatts don't matter comment. And yeah. So the Wyatts, they just lost their feud with the Final Testament. Karrion Kross actually won a feud on Raw, and then very non-ceremonically is just announced by Adam Pearce, or no, I think it was between Kross and Miz, just like, oh, the Wyatts, they were moved to SmackDown. Okay, so they're moved to SmackDown, but now what? I think a lot of people, myself included, was thinking they might actually interrupt Solo Sikoa, which I'm glad they did. I don't want the Bloodline versus the Wyatt 6, but I did expect to see something, and the fact that they didn't show up and they lost their feud, the Wyatts don't matter. I mean, it's not like they don't matter, but they have fallen down the card, and honestly, have they hit their glass ceiling? I don't know. It might be too early to tell, but then again, I don't know. I would like maybe what they should do, Saturday's main event, shake it up. Let's have the Wyatts come out, actually cost Braun Strowman the match, or after Jacob pins him, then the Wyatts come out and they take Braun Strowman away, and we get Braun Strowman as a member of the Wyatt 6, and that would be interesting. And they gotta go heel. KB, okay. I'm going to need the wrestlers to come up with a better finish because they seem to have to do 2 to 3 times their move just to win. A lot of no-selling has gone on lately. Not too sure I like that. I absolutely 100% do not like that. A finisher should be a finisher. Okay, at WrestleMania, if we got to do it twice, okay, maybe, but not every wrestler. And for the most part, let's not do that. Isn't it cool that the pile driver was treated with so much respect? I love that. And when we just no-sell things, it's like, what does it do? What does it help anything? No, it doesn't. This is wrestling. Selling is part of the job. And yeah, come up with a finisher that's going to win. Otherwise, you got yourself, the Cody Cutter is never going to put someone out. So yes, he does the Cody Cutter to get to his move. But if the Crossroads also doesn't put him out the first time, it's not a finisher. It's not a finisher. So come up with something else. That's it. We don't need 3 Crossroads to put everybody down. We don't need 3 whatevers to put everyone down. The RKO, it takes 1 RKO to take you out. That's a finisher. Sanaa Ray's 19. Nick Aldis is right. Cody and Kevin Owens are really out of control, which is kind of surprising because Nick Aldis is the one that actually keeps everything in a nice little package while Adam Pearce is just in chaos land over there. So Kevin Owens and, they are a little out of control on SmackDown. I wish they were actually even more out of control because it would give Cody the fire that he needs to have a good title reign. I want Cody just being like just going after people. You know, I want to see Cody doing crazy things in order to get his comeuppance on his opponents. Negligence, Kevin Owens giving the Cody Rhodes "I respect you." Yeah, the difference is though, "I respect you" into a small package pile driver. Kevin Owens is definitely not fully doing the "I respect you." I think it's more of a mockery of his opponent at Royal Rumble. Luck as Neo, kind of insane that the only thing worth watching on this show was KO versus Ray. Really great match though. I disagree, honestly. I think there was other good things. Solo Sikoa, that was very intriguing, while it might not have been the result that we wanted. Don't forget that wrestling is 52 weeks a year with 2 shows at 3 hours apiece, not including NXT, which is 2 hours, not including PLEs, not including 4 Saturday night's main event. They gotta drag some things out. I do agree there. Even though I'm like, I want to hear Solo Sikoa, I totally understand why they gotta like maybe draw it out over 3 or 4 weeks. Maybe draw it out until the acknowledgement ceremony on the 27th. And then, you know, we got the Jacob promo. That was a banger. We got Carmelo Hayes and Jimmy Uso getting some screen time. Again, not the result I wanted, but okay, whatever. The tag match between Bianca, Naomi, Nia, and Candice, that was decent. The tag team division raising up, that was decent. I think it was good. And Tiffany had a very solid first title defense. So was it the greatest SmackDown of all time? Definitely not. Was there only one thing worth watching? Not for me. I thought there was a little more. Raphael at Air. We have number 1, Jimmy vs. Carmelo was the best match of the night. Their chemistry was on point. That was the big Jimmy fans wanted to see against Jay at WrestleMania 40. Yeah, you know what? It was actually, Jimmy actually did a really good job. I don't like the finish. I wish they would have just had Jacob Fatu or Tama Tonga distract Jimmy, cost him somehow, hit him, I don't care, and then Carmelo picks up the win, and I wish that they wouldn't have attacked Carmelo afterwards. I kind of was hoping that Carmelo could be like the Sami Zayn to their bloodline, but regardless, it happened. Number 2, Jacob Fatu stole the whole show with one awesome promo. I definitely seen him going after Nakamura's title after beating Braun. The look Jacob gave Solo hinting, "I hate you, Solo," turn, yeah, that wasn't that. He didn't say "I love you." He definitely did not say "I love you," Solo. He didn't like that walkout. Number 3, Tiffany versus Bayley put on a solid match. Roxanne Perez not costing Bayley the match was a missed opportunity, but Tiffany winning clean isn't bad either. 100% agree with you there. I feel that she should have lost by distraction, but I'm okay that she did not. It does make Tiffany look strong. And it does look like we're getting Tiffany versus Charlotte. I think that's what they're hinting towards. So Tiffany definitely needs to look strong if she's going to go into a match with Charlotte. Number 4, the tag team division continues to cook, but where are the Street Profits? Okay, I'm glad you mentioned the Street Profits. So last week I was very, very harsh on the absence of the Street Profits, but in my group, in the chat on the live feed last night, the live stream, I think Ducky said that he Googled the Street Profits and if they're out with injury. So let's do that right now. I'm going to do it. And this is the AI overview. It says, yes, Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins, who make up the tag team Street Profits, are currently out with injury. The injuries are a re-aggravation of previous injuries they sustained at a recent live event. Here we go. Newsweek. This is Newsweek. Newsweek says that the Street Profits are out for the foreseeable future due to injuries incurred during a live holiday show. And this is like January 3rd, 2025. Okay, so there you go. Last week I was like, what the heck is going on? So I apologize for that booking, for the lack of booking the Street Profits, because if they're injured, they're injured. And that would then make sense why they were taken out backstage, because if the injury is so grievous, then you can't, it's difficult to do it in the ring. But then did they wrestle after that? Yeah, they did wrestle after they were taken out. I don't know. I guess it says they're injured. So I'm just gonna have to go with that. And it's not just like it's coming from multiple sources, because it wasn't just Newsweek. I saw Fightful on there as well. So all right, they're injured, and I guess we just gotta wait to see. So that sucks. It's crazy that both of them are injured, because if only one of them is injured, we could definitely still use one as a single star for now. Red Rock 1057, I think the Solo silence tonight might be a sign of his acknowledgement of Roman. Jacob doesn't seem ready to give up his spot at the table yet, however. If I was Jacob Fatu, Tamatonga, and Tungaloa, I wouldn't want to give up my spot either. They have said multiple times, why did you bring those three monsters and lunatics in? We left them out for a reason. So if Solo Sikoa is no longer there to acknowledge those three, well then they've got nothing. They've only got each other. They've got to do whatever it takes in order to stay in the WWE and not go back to the streets or wherever they're from. So I understand why Jacob would be hesitant to let go of his spot. DeVille Stewart, I would love to see Jacob Fatu in the Royal Rumble match and eliminate both Roman and CM Punk. That would be so shocking if Jacob pulled that trigger. Yeah, that would be shocking. I don't see that happening. But I would love to see Jacob Fatu in the Royal Rumble, and he could be the beast. He could be the guy that throws, give him 8 eliminations. You want to go crazy, give him 14. But I'm okay with 8. If you gave Jacob Fatu 8 eliminations, the guy would look like a total terror, and it would really prop him up. He wouldn't need to win the Rumble if he was that much of a beast. Alan Sapenta, Jacob Fatu is going to eliminate Solo from the Royal Rumble. That would be, you know what? That would be okay, honestly. And Solo versus Jacob, well, yeah, that could be an okay WrestleMania match, actually. I wouldn't mind that. Monster Jam Brawny, I'm confused on why DIY are heels when they're so beloved by fans. Well, honestly, they're beloved by the old school NXT fans, but when they came to the main roster, they weren't really beloved. If you listen to the reactions, they didn't really get no reactions. In fact, I did not start liking DIY until they became heels. Heels are typically ways for people who kind of don't know how to connect with the crowd. Well, turn them heel. It's easy to be a heel. And let me tell you something. Johnny Gargano, he's a great wrestler, but I never connected with him when he was a face on the main roster. But right now, I am loving Johnny Gargano, loving Tommaso Ciampa. They're really entertaining. They're really funny. I love how much they're just being snakes, trying to hold onto the belts. It's great. So while, yes, you might have loved them as faces, not a lot of other people did. Not enough to warrant them getting airtime as faces, but as heels, they're doing a bang-up job. So I feel that while, yes, they had their fans, I think they're gaining more fans as heels. Negligence. Solo will acknowledge Roman on the 27th. They're saving the acknowledgement for a bigger moment, but Jacob and Tama seem like they're going to do their own thing. Yeah, I think I kind of said this earlier, but I think you're right. I could see them holding off. Maybe the acknowledgement ceremony happens, and then Solo's music hits, and then it's this really tense stare down. What's going to happen? And then Solo puts up the 1, and maybe we get that image of all of the original Bloodline, OG Bloodline, Sammy J, everybody pulling the 1s up because Solo said he would acknowledge Roman if he lost. And Jacob Fatu, though, well, gotta do what you gotta do. Static Z YouTube, Jacob Fatu should be the one to throw out Roman Reigns at the Rumble. I would love that. That would be huge. That would be like Drew McIntyre eliminating Brock Lesnar, huge, but instead of a face pop, you would get a heel boo. But it would be crazy awesome. I think that would set up a Jacob and Roman match, which, though, I don't think is going to happen. Therefore, I don't think Jacob gets that elimination. I would love it, but I don't think it's going to happen. I actually am picking Roman to win. But, if it happened with you, I would love that king making. That would be a kingmaker for Jacob for sure. The smartest idiot, why didn't I realize that Jimmy is better in the ring than Jay? Actually, he is. Unless Carmelo was carrying the match, which I wouldn't be necessarily that surprised because Carmelo is really good. Jimmy, though, looked solid. He looked very solid, and for the most part, he looked better than how Jay usually does, even though, you know what, that's 2 separate issues, and I hope that Jimmy can connect with the crowd more. He seems to be doing a better job at it, so who knows? Maybe Jimmy does eclipse his brother. Acknowledge LWF Solo. You don't want Jacob on his bad side, especially when you get Solo to walk off in boos. Yeah, let's just all be quiet when Jacob speaks. Let's listen. Let's back straight, pay attention. Yes, sir, Jacob Fatu. You do not want to be on that guy's in his sights when he is mad. Jacob Fatu is so awesome. Damian King, the man KO, is wild for going after Rey Mysterio like that, but it's Rey Mysterio, so it's not that surprising. Well, you know what? I think KO would just go after anybody. KO is just so hilarious right now. I love how he interacted with Rey. He was just like, I hope you come after me as champion. And Rey's just like, dude, you're not champion. That was really entertaining. I think it's a low key, very underrated segment that a lot of people are going to sleep on. Andy Anderson says that the show was great, but also a lot of strong matches, and KO is slowly starting to become my second favorite. He is funny. Yeah, KO is really making the most of this opportunity. Kevin Owens as a heel is so much better than Kevin Owens as a face, and other than his little stint with Stone Cold Steve Austin, Kevin Owens has been presented as a face for a very long time, so we are seeing the best version of Kevin right now, and I think it's going to win a lot of people over. Part of my KO problem that I did a video on last month or in December, but yeah, it's KO is just he's so funny, so likable as a heel, and willing to do so much detestable things. It's great and amazing, and that is it for Hot Takes. Thank you so much for being a part of the live streams, the comment section, the hot takes, and just watching these videos to the end. Hit that thumbs up, comment below, maybe a hot take that we didn't mention. Guys, girls, have yourselves a great day.